Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collinwood for YouTube, and I'm here to do a Dark Shadows video today on this beautiful Monday. It looks like it's going to rain. Um, this video is entitled, Who is Angelique? It's always important to establish when a character is first mentioned, right? Well, prior to the 1795 arc, Angelique she's not mentioned at all, really. She's not mentioned by name, she's not mentioned in the family history books, which we know at this case in point, the family history books' accuracy is in question, and its honesty. So, though she's not mentioned prior to the 1795 arc, there's an episode, and I forget which character it is, I'll admit to that, but I think it's either Woodard or Hoffman who hears laughter in the mausoleum. It's one of those two, and you can clearly, distinctly hear it's a woman laughing. It's not a little girl. This isn't Sarah Collins laughing. This isn't Elizabeth laughing. This is a wicked woman laughing. And I mean just laughing at sort of being cruel. And in many ways, this message isn't for the person standing in the mausoleum. This message is to be taken back to Barnabas. As to say, you failed. Or you're not going to succeed, and you're sort of wondering who this is, because keep in mind at this time Angelique hasn't been mentioned or introduced. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, that laugh doesn't belong to Laura Parker. No, it doesn't. I will comp to that 1,000%. The laugh that you hear in the mausoleum prior to the 1795 arc is not Laura Parker's legendary laugh. Because I would say Laura Parker's performance of Angelique is legendary. To me, it's the best. I've said this. She's the best television witch ever, bar none. The best witch laugh ever, bar none. And I would stand by that. But the laugh, though it may not be Laura Parker's, does fit Angelique's persona. The mocking laugh of you failed. You're not going to succeed. I'm in control laugh. It fits the character of Angelique. So when you hear this laugh, you're thinking, wait a second. The person who's laughing knows what's going on, and most perhaps has known what's been going on this whole time with Barnabas. So you're thinking, how does this person know this? And this person is from, the world beyond. They're from a world beyond ours, because they're laughing at a living person standing in the mausoleum. And it's just like, holy crap, this is amazing. And I do know that this does get back to Barnabas. Again, I forget who hears this. I want to say it's either Woodard and he tells Hoffman, or Hoffman hears it and she just tells Barnabas. I forget which one hears this, but it's one of them. And so once the 1795 arc happens, you're sort of thinking about that. Thinking, okay. And even during the sentence, you're thinking, that wasn't Sarah. Who was that? Who was laughing? And, you meet Angelique, and the moment she performs the first moment of witchcraft, you're sort of going, aha. This could be your suspect character here, right? There's your suspect. You know, she's at least a suspect at that point. You don't want to say guilty, right? But look, Laura Parker's performance is amazing, obviously. Who is Angelique? Look, I know what gets revealed in 1840, that once she comes into the 1840, when Barnabas and Julia go back to 1840 to sort of figure out Gerard's ghost, what's really going on, and lo and behold, it's he's possessed, and by the man who made Angelique a witch. Dark Shadows. Look, I've often compared Dark Shadows to wrestling, and in many ways, many stories somewhat relate to pro wrestling. Many characteristics, traits, if you will. Dark Shadows had baby faces and heels and shades of gray characters. Burke Devlin, you know, do I feel Burke was a pure-blooded heel? I think he had heel tendencies, but he was more, to me, he was more shades of gray. Roger was a bit of a heel, but even he's more shades of gray. Again, he could be heelish. To me, the first real heel is Matthew Morgan. Even though he doesn't intentionally cause Bill Malloy's death, it's his choice to cover it up that makes him a heel and sort of try to, you know, him kidnapping Vicky, etc., etc. But the next heel you see is the Phoenix, is Laura Collins. They don't try to make Matthew Morgan or Laura Collins a babyface. They don't try to make those heels babyface, because there's no turning them good once you sort of see their intentions, once you know what their true intentions are. Now, we know Barnabas becomes though he's a heel, he's also shades of gray, because, look, Jonathan Frid got mad fan support. The character is just all-time sympathetic, and they're about to make him even more sympathetic with the backstory, with the 1795 arc. Dark Shadows, I love it to death. I love it. They should have never turned Angelique babyface. Ever. Not because I don't think she ever had a redeeming quality, but because of this fact. This woman did everything she could. She puts a curse on the family through Barnabas, which causes Sarah's death, Naomi's death, Josette's. Okay, there's no getting away around this. She murders Josette, okay? Let's call a spade, shall we? To me, Angelique's a cold-blooded witch. This isn't just a woman scorned. This is a woman with power and magic. I mean, because here's the thing. When Josette's death happens, it happens after Barnabas is turned into a vampire. Barnabas has killed Angelique. Well, Angelique, in the world beyond, still uses her powers. Therefore, this isn't just some mere mortal woman. Because if she were a mere mortal woman, she couldn't be using powers in the world beyond. She couldn't be in the land of the dead using powers. There's something more to this woman, more than flesh and blood. Where Barnabas, who is flesh and blood, even in a vampire form, all you got to do is stake him through the heart or shoot him with a silver bullet in the head and he's dead. Or in the chest, I should say. My apologies. But he's dead. So, this, however, Angelique, No, she has great power because even in the world beyond, she kills Barnabas's true love. She murders her. There's no way around it. She forces like possesses to jump off Widow's Hill. To be so afraid of Barnabas to jump off Widow's Hill. She's in complete control. This is a woman who's dead in the land of the dead, controlling another person. This isn't flesh and blood anymore. So, is Angelique just a woman scorned? She's a being with powers. And 1840 tells you, well, she didn't choose to have those powers. She was cursed to have those powers. I love Dark Shadows and I love the 1840 timeline. I think it's interesting. It's an interesting story is what I'll say. But I don't think ever Angelique should have been turned babyface. And that's sort of where the confusion lies. Because now you're saying this woman who was a witch was once a mere mortal woman. But you say, well, she always had feelings for Barnabas. Look, I'm going to give you the oldest sin of time, and it's lust. Lust. Some people lust over somebody so bad that they're in love with them. That there's no getting out of it. For them, it's, I want that person, and that's the person I want, and I don't give a goddamn what I have to do it. To get them. to do them. To get that person. And that's really how I define Angelique going after Barnabas. She's in such lust. She loves him. And she's the only one who can have him. And she will kill, maim, or curse anybody to get him. And here's the thing. She does actually marry him. But keep in mind, this woman, you might say, well, she was afraid of dying. She was afraid of dying. I just think that's sort of, and that's sort of the confliction, where the confliction lies. Here's this woman who could control people even in the world beyond, but yet who was afraid of dying. You might say, well, she could do that. If she was afraid to die, who attempts to kill her is what I'll ask. Barnabas. I think, honestly, Angelique is one of the most interesting characters, okay? Angelique was scared to die because all creatures fear the unknown. She's already sort of in the unknown territory of witchcraft, right? So, death is the most unknown category. It's like, what's after death? We don't know. And once you die, you're not telling it to anybody, okay? So, and I'm not trying to be metaphoric or literal. It's just, again, this video is not easy to do because it ranges. To sit here and discuss this character, it's not easy for me. Because I love this character, I just don't ever feel she should have been put as a baby face. Because I just don't understand how you try to redeem a character who's killed a lot of people. Who has killed Naomi. You might say, well, Naomi poisoned her. Yeah, but it's a part of, because Barnabas loves her. And that's part of the curse. Sarah. Sarah dies because she sees Barnabas. Well, part of the curse. And the biggest one is Josette. And you might say, well, Josette slept. Yeah, Josette was put under a spell to sleep with Jeremiah and fall in love with him by Angelique. Who else, right? Again, everything bad that has happened to Barnabas points at one person, Angelique, the villain of villains. And in 1840, they're telling you, well, she was a mortal woman, but she was made into a witch. And it's like, okay. Like, what do you say to that? Because it's canon. I don't love that part. I get it. Like, Laura Parker's character does do good things. Like, Angelique does do good things. She does help Barnabas in the 1897 arc. But again, there's when Angelique helps Barnabas, there's usually an agenda behind it. So, and there's always been that. Now, the only exception that finally gets made is when Barnabas finally breaks down and tells her everything in 1840 about the time travel and all of it. Because again, if we're going back to 1840, it predates 1897. So when Angelique comes with her manservant, we'll say, and sees that Barnabas is out of the coffin, she's not too happy. And she hunts him down and finds him, and they have this conversation. At first, Barnabas isn't sure to trust her, but it's like, God damn it, I have nothing else better to do. I gotta trust this woman. I gotta finally break down and trust her, because I'm in between a rock and a hard place here. And I applaud that, because you sort of can tell that not just from Fred's point of view, but from Dr. Hoffman's point of view. They are literally in between a rock and a hard place. And so they break down and tell Angelique that what's going on, why they're here, where they're really where they came from. And it's beautiful. The performances of Laura Parker, Jonathan Frid, and Grayson Hall are amazing. So who is Angelique? Do I think she was originally a mortal woman made into a witch? Even though it's canon, no. No, I don't. I don't buy it. I don't buy that. And you could say, what's canon? Listen, just because something is canon, just because some storyteller tells you something, doesn't mean you have to necessarily believe it. Do I think there's more to Angelique than meets the eye? Yes. Yes. That there is. Obviously, anytime you hear laughter coming from a mausoleum, and it's from somebody who's from the world beyond, that person has special abilities. There's something to that person. And when that person's able to kill somebody, even though they're dead, they're already dead. Barnabas kills her after he's a vampire. By the way, she's still physically manifests herself for the trial Victoria winners. So, though Angelique, you don't necessarily see Angelique, it doesn't mean she isn't there. And that is her best and most dangerous ability. This character is one of the most evil villains ever. And to me, one of the best villains in probably the best villain in Dark Shadows history. Laura Parker did a beautiful job. Again, best television witch ever. Probably, in my opinion, the best witch ever. I put her above the Wicked Witch of the West. The only person who comes close to me as a witch is Connell Cochran. That's it. That's 1 and 2. Pick, right? It's Michael Myers Monday, so we're giving a shout out to Season of the Witch. So to me, and look, this is my opinion, and you can disagree. I welcome anybody who disagrees. I don't feel Angelique was this mortal woman once upon a time. I just don't. I don't buy that. There's, again, yes, I do agree there's more to her, but there's just, look, no one's that wicked when they're cursed. You might say Barnabas. Here's the thing. Barnabas had a sister who confronts him. You gotta. I've talked about this in my previous video. You gotta learn what what right and wrong is again. Okay. Josette is Angelique's best friend. I would gladly say I say that easily. Barnabas does not murder Sarah. Barnabas does not kill his mother. Angelique does. Angelique does all that. There was never a hesitation on her part. Where you could tell Barnabas was thinking about the rights and wrongs of certain things at times. And I credit Laura Parker for this. She just did. Angelique did. Nah, I don't care about the consequence. I don't care. The only time she cared, really, well, you could say the flintlock pistol, but even then she was jabbing stuff in the doll to hurt Sarah, so she wasn't thinking then. The only time she really thinks about the consequences is after Barnabas. She curses Barnabas. She becomes realizing, oh God, what did I do? Oh God. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's meant to be fun. I'm here to have fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Angelique was once a mortal woman? Look, there's no wrong answer here. I'm not going to say there's a right and wrong answer. You guys know that. But storytelling, for me, is all about interpretation. And, again, it's just one of the most interesting characters ever. So I always interpret that Angelique was always a witch. I never viewed her as a mortal woman. But in many ways, she was never presented as a mortal woman for me until 1840, and that's sort of the trick, the whole trickery of this. So I'm sorry this has been long, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love making Dark Shadows videos for you guys. I gotta finish a chapter of Predator or Prey. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think. I want to hear from you. I'll see you guys next time.